of Uncle Nearest while those eggs are scrambling, and we're going to pour them straight into the wok. You ready? There we go.
I am.
Now, you can do one of two things. You can either let this cook off itself, which is going to take you about 8 to 10 minutes. It's fine. You'll still have all of the flavor profile of Uncle Nearest, but you won't have any of the alcohol. So it'll be booze-free for all of those booze-free kids out there. Children, dare, all that. Don't do drugs. Second, if you don't want to wait that long, you can take a torch. I've got one right here, Chef. You can set it on the fire, and you can cook off all of the alcohol that way. So, 2 ways to do it. You decide. Once the alcohol cooks off, hey, easy now. Get in there. Hope the show is captivating enough. Oh, Veronica's already done. She beat me. Heard. You're going on, guys. Virtual games next, Veronica. Heard. All right. Any questions so far? No. Everyone's good. So we're going to continue that alcohol cook-off. So only try this at home if you know what you're doing. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, so don't try it if you don't know. Now that the alcohol is about cooked off, we're going to add in our garlic. So you should have sliced garlic that's actually for the fry, not just the garlic that you need for the sauce. We're going to add our garlic in there, and then we're going to bring it back to temp. So that bourbon is going to continue to cook off. Don't be afraid. Like, it's okay if your eggs are a little brown. You put bourbon in there. Okay, bourbon's brown. It's fine. You didn't overcook your eggs. Chill out. It's going to be fine.
So, Chef, I'm so sorry. We actually had a little bit of a technical hiccup in the beginning of the live recording. So I want to make sure that everyone knows who is the magician with the wok right now. So for those of us who are just joining in, this is Chef Christian Gill of Boomtown Biscuits and Whiskey. He is a Food Network star, and my lovely colleague Veronica is here with us as well. And we are doing Chef Christian's Drunken Noodle recipe. So he's bringing a little bit of Thailand with us. So he's over the wok right now. He's added the eggs. He is making everything look pretty delicious over there. So for those of you who just came in, I'm actually also going to highlight the recipe as well. And you can see the link and follow along. So I'm so sorry for that interruption. This is what happens when you go live. You just got to pivot and keep pivoting. So we are back to you.
Thank you, man. Now back to me over here. How y'all doing today? The weather is fine. All right. Like meteorologist news channel and do very good. I'm sorry. So the next thing that we're doing for everyone that's just joined us, following the recipe, we are at that stir Friday portion of the recipe. It's not Friday, but we're going to use that one for now, where we have actually started to cook our eggs. We've heated. We have allowed our oil to get hot in the pan. Use a hot wok. We added our Uncle Nearest. We've added our garlic and our onions. The Uncle Nearest, the alcohol is already cooked off. All right, ladies, fellas.
Good for kids, family friendly.
Good for kids. All right.
Good for kids.
The next thing that we've added to this dish is, of course, our onions. So you need about 1 cup of onions. That's generally going to be a medium onion sliced in half. Julienne. So Julienne gives you those thin strips for everyone that's out there that does not know what a Julienne onion is. Veronica.
I diced mine. It still tastes delicious.
I'm sure it still tastes good. It's fine. So now we've got our onions in here. We're going to let those onions sweat for about 1 to 2 minutes. We don't want them to be really soft. We want them to have bite and have texture. We just want to take some of that very harsh allium flavor off of that front end. So all those things that make you cry from onions, we want to get rid of that and just leave you with a nice crisp onion on the finish. So now that our onions have started to cook down, we have our eggs scrambled in the bottom. Next up, nudes. So for everyone that just joined us, you've already followed the instructions on the packet of wide rice noodles from the store that you struggled to find because Struggleville, whatever. So you've let those cook about 6 to 7 minutes. You strain them, put them in cold water to shock them, stop them from cooking, and then leave them suspended in cold water until you're ready to cook. That way they stay nice and loosey-goosey. So that's where we are in the meal. We are now ready to add our nudes to the cook. So just going to pull them out, drain as much of the water off as possible. And it's okay. Like, these noodles are going to break a little bit. That's fine. Like, the whiter rice noodles are just heavier. They tend to break. You can undercook them a little bit if you really want to, a little bit more, and only run it at like 3 or 4 minutes. But it's just going to take you a little bit longer to cook them all the way through as you're stir frying them. So I like that 6-minute mark. I don't care if they break a little bit. Like I said, struggle your own way. And so, you know, some people enjoy their noodles like to the point of mush, and we don't like those people. But if we like you, if you're here with us right now, we love you. But just cook your noodles appropriately, okay?
There should be like a little corner that we put people who like mushy noodles, because we can't play with them. They're not friends.
No. They get the corner of the sandbox that the raccoon peed in before recess. That's what they get. That's too harsh? I'm sorry. Did I lose the room? Where did I go? Get back. It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. All right. So anyway, we're back. So now your noodles are starting to warm up. You have your garlic. You have your onions. You got everything you need to keep this dish rocking. So once again, Pad Kee Mao, or Drunken Noodles, originate in Thailand. Just a wonderful hangover food. It's a street noodle. Just generally, it's made with either chicken or pork. You can get it with shrimp at different restaurants. Typically, they're not going to throw bourbon in it. Like, this was one of those dishes that when we were talking about, oh man, what should we really make that's going to really be something out there that people haven't had before? And this pairs quite well. So as long as you stay at that 6 ounce or less mark, I don't know, Veronica might have used like 12 ounces, which I think is, a tragedy because she didn't drink it. I don't know. How much was it?
It may have happened that way. It may have.
Did you really put 12 ounces in it?
No! I did not let it cook off for 8 to 10 minutes. I just cooked it off for like 4 minutes, and I think that's the problem. Basically, I poured straight whiskey on top of my noodles, and I called it a day.
It's like default. We're whiskey reps. These things happen. But the great thing is that you can redeem yourself, Veronica, and actually make Chef's Drunken Noodles and post a picture for all of us to see.
Absolutely.
For your second attempt.
That's right. That's right.
Do that. I want to see those tomorrow.
That's right.
All right. Back to the cook. You guys ready? Here we go. So we've got our onions. We have our garlic. We have our nudes.
I like how you call noodles nudes.
Nudes.
So I basically I can say, hey guys, so I kind of brought some nudes for lunch, and I think I might share them with you.
Right?
And that's when Veronica goes, HR.
Right? Stop.
So we've got our nudes stir fried in with our egg. The next thing we're going to add is our basil. So you have a cup of freshly picked basil leaves. Hot basil, Thai basil is what's preferred. That's what we have today. We have Thai basil. So you're going to take about a cup of those basil leaves and then straight inside of your hot skillet, your hot wok, and then start to just fold those in. And as you're folding those in, the next thing that's going in is the sauce. So we're at that time of the day. Now, if you wanted to add, actual meat to this dish, you would do it during the egg part. So you would take like your sliced chicken, or you would take your sliced pork or your fresh seafood, and you would add it in, toss it in really quick while the egg and the bourbon is simmering and all the alcohol is cooking off. And then you would quickly fold in the rest of your ingredients. But we're just kind of walking it along so everyone can see. The next thing we're going to do, like I said, is hit that sauce. I'm going to hit my sauce.
That's pretty fancy. That's a pretty fancy sauce you got over there. I got to say, and this is coming from the two women who have the two bottles behind them, right over there.
Fancy 1856 sauce is what that is.
Right.
I know. It's my favorite of the Uncle Nearest line. That is my favorite. So we have our sauce. Everyone just join in. Remember, you're shipping out of basil. You've got your minced garlic in here, your oyster sauce, your fish sauce, your sriracha, and your sweet soy. Once again, you don't have sweet soy. What do you use? 3 tablespoons of sugar. 2 tablespoons of
sugar.
Soy sauce. 3 tablespoons of sugar. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce.
I failed.
Straight in. Now that recipe that is on line that May has posted, you're gonna use all of that sauce for those nudes. So you're gonna work that sauce in and just let it cook down. Remember, you want to be working at like medium high heat. No need to be on full high. Like that's not gonna do you any favors. Medium high is great. So work that heat. Let that sauce just kind of fold into all of those nudes. You've already got your bourbon that's really like permeated the eggs. And as you put that sauce in and let everything come together, that bourbon's going to come back out and flesh out into the entire dish. Finally, final mostly, we have our diced tomato. So now that everything is in, the sauce is in, we're folding it all together. We're going to take our diced tomato, and I like to fold it in while it's hot, let the tomatoes break down a little bit. Some of that natural acidity from the tomatoes is just going to help the umami of this dish, help brighten up the flavor of the basil. You'll taste some of the bright notes of the Uncle Nearest, as well as that deep, rich flavor of the sauce, which pairs well with the smoky, like just oak of the Uncle Nearest. So all of those things will pair well together. In go our tomato. That rhyme? It sort of rhymed. I don't think it did. There you go.
You guys thought you were just getting, a really fantastic noodle recipe. You had no idea you were going to get entertainment as well too. See, it's like Chef just brings it all to the table right now.
I mean, I just thought that you and Ronica were going to make fun of me the whole time, so I figured if I kept talking, maybe it would all work out in my favor.
So I don't know if you guys were able to catch the text on Chef's shirt while he passed by, but it's pretty awesome. So Chef, when you come back into frame, I was wondering if you could show the audience your shirt. Here we go. Body by biscuit.
Yes.
I think that might be responsible for a lot of our bodies during COVID.
Those of us in Cincinnati have Body by Biscuit with Boomtown on a regular basis. So it's kind of what we are.
But the reason why that's so cool is because Chef's restaurant is called Boomtown Biscuits and Whiskey. So Chef, can people purchase the t-shirts on the Boomtown website if we wanted to wear a Body by Biscuit shirt?
So you could purchase a t-shirt from the website. If for some reason the link's not working, like today we had a little bit of trouble with it. Everybody's struggling. We're trying to struggle less right now. If you have trouble, just get on Instagram, get on Facebook, send us a message. We will sell you a t-shirt. We will ship it to you. We'll figure out all that stuff. So just let us know if you want one. We've got the Body by Biscuit tank top. Oh yeah, it's a tank top. I forgot. Because Summer bod is biscuit bod this year. Is year of the biscuit, right?
Totally.
Summer bod has been canceled. So Ronica and I are wearing our Uncle Nearest shirt. So mine just says a really big y'all, and hers is honor. Y'all. See, you have to teach me. I'm a city girl. I'm
from the South. Like I'm actually from Lexington, Kentucky. So I say y'all a lot. Like y'all into like my email. Like Ronica has seen me write like y'all all right over there. Like I do that. What I do. All right, so ladies and gents, everybody still with us? You ready?
We are. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple of people joining us. We have Wendy joined us. Home Bar Network says, "Yum, Chef Christian. This sounds amazing. Thanks for joining us." Look at this. What is going on over there? So, Chef, that was so easy and quick. And I love that I can make it seem like I really need to wipe my brow of sweat in the kitchen over there.
It's a little hot over here, but this dish is really simple. Like it's something that a lot of people don't realize. We're on travel. You guys ready? Here we go. All right.
Ready.
Where I really like to be. So this dish is super simple. It's not something that you really need to take a lot of time to make. It's something that not only can you make in about 15-20 minutes. I mean, we just made it in 14 minutes. And like it takes a decent amount of prep, but just like anything, if you prep ahead of time and you're prepared and you're organized and you've got your Uncle Nearest on the side, like having all your stuff already made and already chopped up and you're just waiting to make it for when all the kids come home or your your missus, your sir, anybody comes home, grandpa, the weird dude down the street that you let in once to get like a Frisbee off your backyard, whatever. Like you let those people in, you're ready to make it. It takes about, like I said, like it took us 14 minutes. You got your Uncle Nearest on the side. And we use 6 ounces of Uncle Nearest today in the dish. So remember, it's going to have a nice balance of that umami from the fish sauce, the oyster sauce, and of course the bourbon all together rolled into one. So struggle bowls up.
I love that. Cheers. And so, Chef, a toast to you. Thank you for your incredible recipe. Guys, if you guys are in Ohio, please support Chef and Boomtown Biscuits and Whiskey. They are open. We are so proud to stand with our restaurant partners. We actually have a special treat for our viewers. So anyone who is cooking along with us or is inspired by Chef's Drunken Noodle recipe, Chef, how do you feel about this? If they cook it, they post a picture, they tag Uncle Nearest, they tag you at Food Rush Ninja. I'll put all the links up there. We will randomly select a winner, and they will get a $100 gift card to Boomtown. What do we think?
I think they get a $100 gift card to Boomtown and a free kitten. Oh,
Oh my goodness!
sorry.
Well, the supplies last. And,
In my very little spare time, but she was just right here, so I had to throw Lucy back up there. No, I think that's a great idea, May. I think that
I think we should go along and do that. And so Boomtown is really well known for having elevated comfort food. So for maybe someone who hasn't gotten the chance to experience Boomtown yet, what are your top dishes that you would absolutely steer first timers to try?
I would have to say, if you're full-on meat eater, the Yukon is where it's at. It's Yukonic in Cincinnati. That is our freshly made scratch buttermilk drop biscuits, buttermilk brine fried chicken, applewood smoked bacon, maple smoked cheddar, and our house-made sawmill sausage gravy, all rolled into one between 2 biscuits. So like it's a sandwich, but you're really gonna get a fork and a knife in there and go to town. And then if you're vegetarian, I would have to say our Oregon Trail. So our Oregon Trail, like a sweet potato hash. It's Veronica's favorite. All right, ladies and gentlemen, come in, see Veronica. Probably gonna be at the bar by herself because social distancing, but she'll be there with her Oregon Trail sweet potato hash. It's kind of like a Korean bibimbap and sweet potatoes put together. We make a house-made bulgogi sauce. We use fried kale, Brussels sprouts, poblano peppers, and carrots with those sweet potatoes. All of it sauteed together. The bulgogi on the side or on top if you want. If you wanted it vegan, just take the sauce out. You're good. Then it's vegan. So those are the 2.
I don't want it vegan. Short rib.
Or you can add short rib to it. My bad, Veronica. I forgot. Lost myself. Apologize.
If you have the name biscuits in your restaurant name, I'm assuming that you are willing to kind of put that in the bank as one of the things that someone should absolutely try. And what is the secret behind a fantastic biscuit?
So my secret behind a fantastic biscuit is flour. You want to make sure that you're using a soft winter wheat flour. So a soft wheat flour is going to have a lower gluten yield, which means that biscuit's going to stay light and fluffy and airy and buttery and all of those things. It just helps to make a better biscuit because a biscuit should be light and fluffy. You don't want a biscuit to be like heavy or a scone and dry. Like you want it to be light. So flour is what I go with. White Lily is my absolute favorite. If you're in the north, I'm sorry. It's real hard to get. It's southern in nature. So yeah, come down here to like not Cincinnati because it's really hard to get it here too. But we have it. Like we convinced our purveyor we'll buy flats of like pallets of it if you just bring it in for us. So they did, but it's in the South. You could find other things kind of like Swan's flour. So if you have Swan's cake flour, it's also a soft winter wheat. You could technically use that as well. But biscuits really should just be soft and fluffy. We actually used to have our biscuits, we used to make them in-house by hand and layer them into nice flaky layers, kind of like a classic biscuit. And we just changed to a drop biscuit instead because it just makes more sense with how we have to do biz now. And it's really cool for the guests because now you get 2 biscuits instead of 1. And they're really crunchy on the outside. And like I said, buttery, light, and fluffy on the inside. So check it out.
So we have Nara joining us. What a pretty name. And she just says that this dish looks amazing. So Chef, if you wouldn't mind giving us another glory shot of your chicken noodles, and I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you because I couldn't cook today. But if you wouldn't mind just tasting the noodles, having some whiskey, letting us know how it pairs together, so we have something to be excited and look forward to for the next time that we find ourselves in the kitchen and pouring ourselves a dram of 1856.
Of course. Oh, wait, should I also be the one to taste the noodles right now? Because
Please do. Yeah.
Yes, please do. I don't think anyone has a better palate than Chef and Tom, like hands down.
Kidding me? I eat instant packs of ramen whenever I get the chance.
There's nothing wrong with instant ramen, sir. I will defend that. Because you can fancy it up. You can fancy it up.
So that my fingernails start sweating. Here we go. So it's still really hot. That's the other cool thing about this dish is that the rice noodles are like, they're super dense, but they're still light and chewy, and they hold their heat really well. So if you make this dish and, you know, your folks aren't home or your loved ones aren't here yet, it's okay. Like, it's going to hold super well. Just don't over cook it, and then you end up with mush, and then you're on the corner of the playground in the sandbox where the raccoon peed earlier before recess. So.
That's right, because we banished those people to the corner. We were not going to let them play with us.
Get out.
Get out. Go to the side. Go to the corner right now.
I think it's pretty good.
So unfair. Ronica and I are just staring at you right now.
Ronica made her own earlier. I don't know why she's being that way.
It's not the same as yours. I promise you that.
Well, thankfully we have the recipe up. I'm going to make them. I'm going to post my photo. We're going to see who is making it at home, tagging Chef. Actually, I'm going to bring up your Instagram right now, Chef, so that people can tag you and also tag us at Uncle Nearest, and we will pick a winner to win the $100 gift card to Boomtown so that they can actually get to try those amazing dishes at Boomtown, plus the biscuits, plus Uncle Nearest whiskey over there. So putting up here right now your ID. So Chef, how did the noodles turn out?
I think they turned out fantastic. I like my noodles a little more on the al dente side before I cook them, just so that they absorb more of the sauce. Some people like their noodles a little cooked a little bit more before they add them to the dish. It's really, truly, it's your choice. You do whatever you want. I like them this way. Mine is really saucy. It's nice and saucy. If you want to make a double batch of the sauce, feel free. If you like your noodles saucier, make more of the sauce before you actually cook everything down. I like them super saucy. So when I made this dish for you guys just now, I didn't use all of my rice noodles just because I want to bathe in Uncle Nearest drunken noodle sauce. That's just me though. So you decide how you want to do it, but use that recipe more as like guidelines, than technically rules. That's what I would do.
I gotcha. I can't wait for you to actually taste Uncle Nearest with us. So if you don't mind, how about we do a little whiskey tasting together? So Chef, I was wondering so guys, this is Uncle Nearest 1856. This is our premium aged whiskey. This is a 100 proof. We believe it is the smoothest 100 proof on the market. We just won 2019 and 2020's World's Best Whiskey. And Chef, what are you getting on the nose?
So there's actually a fair amount, for me, sweet oak, a little bit of cherry, and like a fair amount of allspice. There's almost like a nutmeg quality as well. It's not by any means like a winter spiced bourbon whiskey. Like, it's not that by any means, but with the things that I have to taste all day long and the way that I have to taste every single individual item in my food, every ingredient, I tend to pick up things a little bit differently than other people would. But those are like some of the strongest notes that I get. It's not super, super powerful on the nose. Like, you can smell all of the different aromas. It doesn't smell like straight booze for anybody out there that's like, I don't know about that. And sometimes it just smells like a party. It doesn't smell like that. It smells like finesse. It smells a little rich, but at the same time, it's light, it's crisp. Like I said, there's that oak finish there that's very smooth. And for 100 proof, that's pretty banging. Like, it's smooth. It goes down well. It pairs well with other things. You don't feel that bite, that harshness that not only from other whiskeys and bourbon whiskeys that are at 100 proof, but from like scotches that are at, 80, 90 proof. Like, ugh. Like, you're not getting that. You're getting a very smooth finish. I would honestly, like, not gonna lie, my go-to 100 proof whiskey, Old Granddad Bonded. That was what I went for before I found Uncle Nearest. Before Ronica introduced me to Uncle Nearest, it was Old Granddad Bonded, but this is my new favorite. So you guys should try it too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Dink, dink, dink. All the things are you love.
Everyone is just seeing whiskey coming at their face. They first saw noodles, then they saw a kitten, and now they just see Chef with your face in a whiskey glass.
Agony, make noodles, and you win a free kitten. No, I'm just kidding. You don't win Lucy.
Where did this kitten come from? I have not met this kitten.
It's
Lucy. Where did the kitten go?
Lucy in the sky. She's off playing, harassing other people, things, pets, all the things. She's literally nope. She's back. She smells noodles. There's Lucy.
Lucy's adorable.
Lucy is a 7-week-old buff tabby from OAR, which is one of our rescues in Cincinnati. So I foster in my very little spare time, like I said earlier, and she's pretty adorable. So if you live in the Cincinnati area looking for a cat, here's Lucy. Okay, she's not ready to go yet.
Lucy, how old is Lucy?
She's 7 weeks old.
Oh,
Lucy.
Oh, she's so cute.
Nope, don't hit that button. That'll everything. Oh, she's gone. All right.
See, but you've got everything going on in your house right now. Look, the man is eating delicious noodles. He's drinking really amazing whiskey, and then he has Lucy.
I mean, there's dogs around too.
Yeah.
They're currently doing nothing like they normally do.
So, Chef, some of our viewers might be familiar with seeing you before on their screens because you are actually quite a bit of a champion on the Food Network, coming in first place on 2 shows. And I was just wondering if you can share a little bit about that experience of the Ultimate Thanksgiving Challenge and also Guys Contest for the shopping.
So Ultimate Thanksgiving Championship was hosted by Giada, and that was one of the hardest competitions I've ever done. What made it really hard, if you've seen it, cool. If you haven't seen it, check it out and watch me embarrass myself in front of millions of people. It's on the Food Network app. It's also on Prime, Amazon Prime. I think it's also on Hulu. So it's on all kinds of apps. But what made it really hard was like, sorry, I need more bourbon.
See, there.
Okay, I'm better. Up. But what made it really hard was that you're making Thanksgiving-esque food every single time that you go out there to compete. And, you know, what do we think of with Thanksgiving-esque food? It's turkey, it's dressing, it's cranberry sauce or cranberry relish, and it's stuffing, green beans, macaroni and cheese. Like, sorry, over and over and over and over.
I think you need a little bit more whiskey. See, that's the medicine for everything, guys. Yeah.
I have a lot of allergies right now because Cincinnati is confused about what day it is and year it is. In season and the thunder snow. Anyway, so yeah, Ultimate Thanksgiving was a lot of fun, but it was very much a challenge. And I won by the good graces of having a really cool pie that you might be able to find sooner than later in one of my restaurants.
So so for those of us who haven't seen the show before, if I'm not mistaken, the premise of it was for the Ultimate Thanksgiving Challenge, you had to cook a staple Thanksgiving dish for each episode and elevate something that you could find at your grocery store into something that was feast worthy.
Yeah, you had to cook a whole ass meal every single episode, at least twice an episode. And you had to use everyday, low cost, cost effective, cost conscious ingredients that you could find. So some people had the challenge of using brine chicken or brine turkey or canned turkey or dried turkey, turkey jerky and turkey everything. And it was just it was a trial. On the other hand, Guys Grocery Games, 100% the quickest, it went by in blink of an eye. You go in, guys all right, you gotta do the thing to got here, 3, 2, 1, go. And then you're running down, stumbling all over the place with a grocery cart, and then you're looking up, and then there's 5 minutes left. And you still haven't plated your food, and you're like, ugh, and that's for $20,000, and that was also a just life-changing experience. really, like, Guys Grocery Games was like the first competition that really put me in the mindset of competition cooking, competitive cooking, and remembering that the clock is never your friend and it's always real. So anybody out there is going to ask that question about, is the clock real? Yes, it's very real and it's very frustrating, and you should pay attention to it, but don't let anything burn. And the whole world's on fire and you're on fire and everything's on fire, but you're on TV, so smile while you're on fire.
Did it change your philosophy towards cooking after being in such high stress situations where you're giving, like, you know, artificial constraints such as, like, you know, that type of running clock, like, and being with other great chefs in a competition format? Like, did it change your approach to cooking or how you cook?
No, it actually did not. Oh, can you still see me? I know it's doing a
Yes,
little blinky
yes, we had a
thing.
little lag, but I
Now
think
we
we're okay now.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me fix the antenna.
Well, at least we know Chef's audio is working. That is not something that we have a concern with.
My card, comma, I will pay for whatever you
Like,
want.
it didn't. There it is.
So-
I apologize.
Awesome.
Wait, where'd Veronica go? Anyway, so yes,
I think Monica has to
it
take
didn't really. There it is. So it didn't really change my perspective on cooking per se. What it did was, it really, like, Guys Grocery Games was the first real competition, food cooking competition that I was on. I was on a couple other shows before that, but it invigorated me. It stimulated me mentally in terms of, like, what combinations of flavors could I create in a short period of time. And that's not just like competitive cooking. It's all right, I have 45 minutes to cook for 8 people and I forgot to go to the store. What shit is in my fridge? Let's go. Like, it's that sort of just instinctual cooking, thinking about, you know, being confident in your flavor profiles and knowing what things go together, what things don't, how to make things that don't normally go together, how to make them go together, like what that bridge ingredient is. Like, that's really what it did, because there were all kinds of nonsense ingredients that I would have to use, or nonsense rules that made it a lot more difficult to make, like, normal food. And that's the point. Like, it's supposed to be great television. It's supposed to be a challenge. And then I just kind of applied that challenge to my everyday cooking. So even at Boomtown, like, I strive to really just make great food and, you know, combine different flavors and different, you know, cultural food items and concepts into something that people haven't had before.
So I was wondering if you can let our viewers know, what is an underrated spice or produce or ingredient that you would like to turn people on to?
Well, that's a great question. I think the most underrated, I'm going to go with a couple of them. So the most underrated herb, kind of fallen to the wayside, and I think some people would agree with me. Thyme. Thyme is an underrated herb that a lot of people just kind of, you know, they know the song, Parsley, Rosemary, and thyme. They know that song, but they don't actually really use thyme, because it's one of the, like, your grandma used it. Your grandma used it. Your mom used it. And the roast beef never tasted good, because she always usually like, I put thyme in it. And then you're like, yeah, you put too much thyme, now it's dry. Maybe your grandmother, your mother didn't do that. I apologize for anybody.
So should I tell people where we are drawing all this musicality and characters from, which is that Chef has an affinity for
Theater. I originally went to school.
I'm outing you right now.
You are literally just putting me on blast right now.
I'm putting you on the blast, because here's the thing, you know, not everyone feels as comfortable, you know, being in a private setting and being able to fill the space, and you do that so well. And that's because you have other talents besides just being able to make mean dishes, you know, in your home kitchen, and also, you know, at your office, which is your restaurant.
Yeah, downstairs, because I'm the Bob's Burgers of Biscuits, and I basically live at and all my employees are like my Tina, Jean, and Louise, like all a bunch of children, my children. I love them very much. I'm not saying that they all are children. It's illegal to employ children, but
we're not putting that out there.
No.
No. Boom, it's all on the up and up. It's
understand. All my
we're gonna.
There's some of them act like Gene from. If you watch the show, you watch Bob's Burgers, you know that Gene, Tina, and Louise have their own like different ego, like different characteristics, and my employees are all that way too. Like some of them are just real obnoxious and want to be the center of attention. Okay, I was called myself
Moving
out.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So what is another ingredient that you think is really underrated that you would like to turn us on to?
I also think so. I'm the condiment king here in the house of Gill. And I think a really underrated ingredient, it's gonna be fish sauce. For me, it's fish sauce. Like fish sauce. It's a banging condiment. Like it is all of the robust nature and depth of flavor that you would come to expect from Worcestershire without being British. So it's, Thai, like a Thai fish sauce, like made of sardines or made with dried shrimp or different kinds of seafood, but it just has so much depth of flavor. That umami is there. It's salty, but you can balance it out with sugar and with acid. That's one of my favorite things about Thai food is that balance of salt, heat, acid, that book that everybody already read. But it's that balance, and using fish sauce is one of those great condiments, one of those great sauces that you can use in a lot of different things. And a lot of people don't think about it. Like you can tame down that fish flavor by adding the right amount of acid. So lime juice, lemon juice, orange juice, lemongrass, if you wanted to use, an actual herb of sorts, if you wanted to use that, lemongrass. And then, of course, balancing out with sugar. So, like, we make a really cool fish sauce wing whenever we're feeling froggy at Boomtown on the, when we have time. But, like, that balance is just, it's great. And you don't need a lot of other things with it. Like, once you have that balance, you're great. And then, of course, another supremely underrated spice seasoning is the Old Faithful chili powder. So a lot of people don't realize, like, when you go to the store and you get your chili powder, there's more than one kind. Like there's dark chili powder, there's light chili powder. Yeah, throw those aside. Go for the Hatch chili powder, or go for the New Mexico or the Ancho. Go for one that's specifically labeled as a specific chili that they dehydrated and ground into a powder, because those are going to add different levels of spice, different levels of heat, different levels of robust flavor. Like the Ancho is always going to be smoky, a little bit chocolate on that front note and on that finish. Like it's going to almost have a mole without mole like profile to it. And then of course, like the Hatch chili, which only comes around like once or twice a year. The Hatch chili is its own iconic chili pepper, but then like Hatch chili powder is just great. Like I make a white chicken chili. Everybody like a white chicken chili. It's just so good because, oh my God, white chicken, no one else, it's all good. I make that with Hatch chili powder as opposed to making it with just cumin. So that's one I like as well.
I love that. So, Chef, just before we wrap up, wanted to give you a chance to share any new upcoming projects that are coming out, how people can stay in touch with you. I just put up Chef's IG and as well as his email to the restaurant, but I wanted to see what exciting things you have in the works.
So Boomtown is actually launching our own private dinners curated by yours truly. So we have that. So if you're in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, you really want to go eat, but you want to practice social distancing and being safe, you can actually come out and have a meal with 9 of your closest friends or family members, in a sterile, safe environment that's cleaned on the regular, and have a 5-course meal with me. So that's something that we have coming up. And then of course there's Feast Mode 513. And Feast Mode is my way of giving back to the community, the restaurant industry, by just highlighting different restaurants that are still open for carry out, are back open for full service dining, indoor, outdoor, just shedding a little light on those less fortunate. Like Boomtown just reopened for carry out last week. But we were closed for like 2 months. And I spent that time, instead of just going, well, now what do I do? Just trying to help out all my friends and family in the community. So check that out on YouTube, Feast Mode 513, Facebook, Instagram. Just follow me. Like I'll take care of you, baby birds. I got you.
Oh, I love when people address me as baby birds. It just makes me feel like so warm and cared for. So for all the baby birds out there, or the big birds, or the medium birds, just to all of our birds, how about all the wonderful people who are joining us today? I can't wait to see photos of your Uncle's Drunken Noodles, courtesy of Chef Christian Gill from Boomtown Biscuits. Don't forget to tag us at unclenearest.com and also Chef at Food Brush Ninja. You're going to enter a little raffle, and we will send you a $100 gift card to experience the delicious biscuits and whiskey and food at Boomtown. So, Chef, cheers to you. Veronica, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank
salute.
you.
Cheers. Be safe.
Cheers.